Imagine a warm summer night. The air is thick with the scent of freshly cut grass, and the dark sky flickers with golden lights. You reach out with cupped hands and a racing heart. Suddenly, you catch one and quickly place it in a jar. A firefly, a tiny creature that seems to hold magic in its wings. Who has ever tried to catch a firefly? What made you want to capture this fascinating creature and watch it glow? I wonder why fireflies glow. I wonder how they glow without getting hot. I wonder why fireflies flash off and on instead of just staying lit. This tiny bug caused you to stop and wonder. With that wonder, you became a scientist, an entomologist, and a biochemist long before you knew what any of those words meant. I'd like for you to think back to a childhood experience. Maybe it was the first time you watched a firefly in awe, or the moment you realized your shadow disappears on cloudy days. Maybe it was the first time you looked up at the night sky and thought, how do the stars stay up there? You were not just playing, you were investigating, you were learning. Close your eyes and picture the last time something truly made you stop and wonder. The last time you asked why or how. Here's the real question. When did we stop asking? And more importantly, how do we make sure our youngest humans never do? Today, I want to take you on a journey into a classroom where children lead their own learning, where wonder and curiosity is the curriculum. This is the magical world of my school, Riverfield Country Day School, and the teaching philosophy of Reio, Amelia. I stand here today not as an expert, but as an educator embracing a path of discovery. My path of exploration, trial and error, and most of all, wonder. Let me step back for a moment. Reggio Emilia is an educational philosophy that focuses on hands-on, child-led learning. It began in Italy after World War II and is based on the idea that children are naturally curious and capable of understanding the world around them. It is an approach that turns wonder into the foundation for lifelong learning. A way of learning that not only allows curiosity, it depends on it. Instead of handing students the answers, it invites them to chase their own questions. As we grow up, schools tend to replace wonder with worksheets. Instead of asking, how does a firefly light up? We're handed a diagram. Instead of watching rain trickle down the sidewalk, wondering where it goes, we read about the water cycle. But what if? What if we didn't? For much of my teaching career, I thought my role was to lead, to provide answers, structure, and direction. After all, that's what a teacher does, right? But over time, I began to realize something. The moments when my students were most engaged, most alive with curiosity, did not happen when I stood in front of them talking. They were the moments when I stepped back and let them take the lead. I have never formally attended a Reggio Emilia training, but that has not stopped me from bringing the beauty of this approach into my classroom. And let me tell you, it has been an adventure. Allow me to share a few examples of when wonder overtook our classroom and led us places we never imagined. My first year at Riverfield, several beloved trees were cut down to make space for the very building we are in today. While most saw progress, some students saw loss. They saw childhood memories erased. What was once their playground was now a construction zone. A question started to form in their minds. Why do humans get to decide the fate of nature's oldest living organisms? And with that question, their adventure began. Students started studying the historical reliance of trees, sparking a deeper appreciation for their role in sustaining life. Their curiosity turned to action as they researched and mapped Tulsa's oldest and largest trees. Then they launched the Tulsa Celebritrees Instagram page to raise awareness. When questioning the legal protection of trees, students immersed themselves in environmental law, wrote a mock trial script, and stepped into a federal courthouse to bring their case to life. But their advocacy did not stop there. Partnering with chainsaw artist Clayton Koss, they transformed the fallen wood into handcrafted furniture. These beautiful pieces now sit back where they originally came from, serving the community in a new and lasting way. To preserve this story, students directed a documentary titled Uprooted, Growing Up and Letting Go, which is a reflection of change, memories, and growing up alongside the world around you. One moment of curiosity led to learning in history, science, law, art, and civic engagement, proving that big ideas can grow from a single spark. Allow me to share another story. While studying American colonization, students wrestled with big questions like, what would I have done differently? And could I have done it better? These questions became invitations into innovation and ethics. So we took a big step. Instead of reading about colonization, we became colonizers. Colonizers of an imaginary solar system made with the use of AI. Students analyzed each planet, weighing pros and cons, and ultimately chose their new homes. For today, I'll focus on one planet, Etheria. Etheria is a world of dazzling northern lights, bioluminescent life, and frequent magnetic storms. But it was not empty. A native species already called it home, encouraging kids to consider not only survival, but coexistence. How are they going to power their planet without making the same mistakes that we have made on Earth? They had to find a renewable energy source. After all, how else were they going to play their video games? That's when wonder took the wheel. Students started investigating how to harvest energy using magnetic fields and energy. This led to research, experiments, and ultimately a guest speaker coming to our class to demonstrate how to generate electricity using Earth's magnetic field and a wire. What started as a story of colonization quickly grew into lessons in sustainability, empathy, and the limitless possibilities that can emerge when students lead their own learning. While one project pushed us to the future to consider what's next, another asked us to examine where we came from. This year, we read Hidden Figures and learned how Katherine Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, and Mary Jackson defied expectations, using their brilliance to break barriers and change history. But of course, we did not just stop at reading their stories. We asked deeper questions like, who else has been silenced? And who else has dared to rise? This led to other aviation pioneers, as well as the science of flight. Much like the women of NASA who helped launch America into space, we explored wind tunnels, aerodynamics, and the forces that make flight possible. For weeks, students studied lift, drag, and thrust by building models and testing theories. But knowledge is meant to be felt, not just studied. So we took our learning beyond the classroom and into the sky. Almost. We went indoor skydiving. Imagine the sound of the wind rushing past your ears and the pure exhilaration of defying gravity. This was not just a lesson. This was an experience, one that will not be easily forgotten. Experiencing the thrill of flight firsthand helped us to understand the courage it takes to defy limits. whether in the sky or in society. Breaking barriers isn't just about history or physics. It's about using what you know to make a difference. Every month, we volunteer at the food bank, where we have learned that making an impact is not just about what you know, it's about what you do. So we brought our voices to a bigger stage. This one. This entire event was organized and brought to you by 68 of the best and the brightest 4th and 5th grade students. After seeing how others use TEDx to inspire change, they knew what they wanted to do. They did not just study powerful voices. They found their own. And that's the true power of learning. It doesn't stop when the lesson's over. It continues to spark curiosity and make real change. While this journey has not been without its challenges, the joy, growth, and authentic engagement are worth it. You do not have to be an expert to bring Reggio Amelia into your classroom. You just need a willingness to step back, trust in your students, and a strong sense of wonder. The greatest gift that we can give our children is the power to keep asking questions. A firefly doesn't glow because we tell it to. A firefly glows because that's what it was made to do. Imagine if we nurtured that same light inside of every child, not dimming it with answers, but fueling it with wonder. Wonder is not something you outgrow. It is something we must protect. Because the moment you stop asking why or how is the moment you stop truly learning. So here's my challenge to you. Make space for wonder. Let curiosity shine. Because when we do, our children will not just learn, they will light up the world. Thank you.